You listen to the music, you know, and have a good time, and you really enjoy it.
It was hippies and wannabe hippies and people that were hippies mentally, but they hadn't grown their hair out that long yet.
All communities fought these things in those days because they looked at it as a bunch of crazy hippies coming in and destroying their culture and undermining their children and youth and whatever.
All I remember was riding down there with my older brother, my friend, one of my best friends, a couple of us went in, and we were all going to meet up. So there's 4 or 5 of us in a car, and we drove down, and I don't remember having any of that traffic. We got there the first day, and it had started at like noon maybe or 1, and we got there about 2 or 3. But there wasn't like a program. We had no idea who was playing when or anything. Janis Joplin, she was the headliner at the time. She was going to be the headliner. She still got the billing, but she was incredible live. I think I might have told you this the other day. She's up there talking to 100,000 people like she's in a bar, just rambling on in between songs and yay, and it's just like so comfortable. And then all of a sudden she just starts singing. It was just goosebumps. Staple Singers came on, and they were phenomenal. And then I think after that was Chicago Transit Authority, who was like, whoa, who's this?
For us, being a relatively new artist, it was incredibly memorable and exciting to be on a bill with all of the big names of the day. I mean, there were tens of thousands of people at those pop festivals from all over the country, if not the world, and so many of them were experiencing CTA the first time, so the exposure was huge. But certainly the biggest gathering of human beings we had ever performed in front of, and it was a bit intimidating, honestly. To be on a stage and look out and see that huge sea of people was amazing.
And it sounded unbelievably great. Crystal clear, full power, as loud as you want, no distortion. I mean, it was just amazing.
Get the music from one whole song.
Unbelievable. We had no problem, no fights. Everybody was cool. Everybody was sharing, you know, everything. It was, all of that was just amazing.
This one seems to be a more community, like I said. The people here seem to be a lot younger and more or less interested in just meeting people and listening to the music.
It's the people. Everybody helps everybody. I mean, if you have food and nobody else has, I mean, everybody shares it.
No shade anywhere. We saw that they had fire trucks come and hose people down. And people would just stand there and go, yeah, please get me. Some incredible, kind, generous person bought like a full semi-truck full of watermelons to deliver to the festival and just pass them out. And so there was like watermelon rinds everywhere. People were just, you know, cracking them open. I remember that. That might be all we ate. I don't know. It was so exact opposite of the corporate thing today, you know. They did sell T-shirts there.
I bought this at an auction. Some guy was bidding against me, and I ended up paying around $2,000 for this shirt, but I wanted it because I hadn't seen one. And someone in our office had found this picture of Zeppelin. So as I see this stuff, I buy it for Alex's legacy, and I give it to the university, you know, because I think there's a historic element to all this stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's a different time, and there was a real push to stop festivals like this because the powers that be, both locally and in Washington, did not like the idea of 100 to 300,000 anti-Vietnam War people getting together in any one spot. So there was a lot of political pressure on stopping these things. Let me tell you how he explained it to me. He was going snorkeling, and he was heading down to Key West and with some friends. And at that time he had a pizza place in Buckhead, and he was doing bands on the weekends, and because he had this affinity towards music. And they stopped in Miami, and there was a festival going on. And he thought that it was amazing that you had these groups and food and whatever. And he said, you know, we can do this in Atlanta. Alex had to cajole people to come to the South. One, they didn't think that they would be accepted here. And they thought culturally that we weren't ready for rock and roll. They thought we all listened to country music, and he had to convince them. And why it was so seminal for us, basically in the Southeast, and a lot of people in the business know it, was it showed the agents and managers that there's a market for that here in the South, that there are people, not only with the first Pop Festival, which sold out and had over 100,000 people, but the second one, which did 300,000 plus people, and a year later. So it showed a lot of people that there was interest here. He always did this, which he even saw in Music Midtown. He wanted an eclectic lineup that represented different aspects of a genre, and even sometimes different genres. He wanted people to be exposed to other bands. So he liked Led Zeppelin, and he figured, you know, people come to see Janis Joplin should really see Led Zeppelin. He never, I don't think, understood personally how much he'd done for the city. You know, I try to tell people that when, you know, people ask me or whatever, is that, you know, everything that happens now is because Cooley started it, you know.